Today is a very exciting day for us. We are breaking ground on the build site for our underground house. Rodney and Matt of Beer Excavation were very helpful throughout this part of the project, not just with the machine operation, but with specific guidance as well. It's not shown in the footage here, but we began the day by walking the site and looking at the reference stakes that I had placed previously. And this was actually good. They usually use this system. So using two stakes, being able to triangulate on a given reference point. So that was the northwest corner of the building, and that's what we're using the reference point for depth. And this also allows me to, after the excavation is completed, then to go back and find that original spot as well. So a lot of purposes there. If you look closely, you can see the orange flag that marks our reference point, which Rodney actually maintained there for throughout most of the excavation. Rodney in the excavator and Matt in the dozer worked as a team, each playing to their machine's strengths to work together to move the soil as efficiently as possible. Rodney would dig and mound the soil, while Matt would scrape and push it longer distances. There was a lot of soil to move, and given that we were going down 7 feet from the northwest corner of the structure, which was about 13 feet down at the deepest point of the excavation area. By my rough calculations, I expected them to have to move about 3,600 yards of soil, which they actually ended up completing within the first 2 days here. I did end up needing them for a third day though, even though after the first 2 days here, the original plan for the pad was done, and they had that area excavated. The problem was, on the east end of the site, there was a bunch of highly expansive clay, which was not going to be suitable for building. And now this is something that I anticipated based on the results of the geotechnical analysis covered in a previous video. So it wasn't a big surprise, but you never know what you're going to get once you actually dig into the soil. So anyways, we had to go and dig that out and then backfill with some better material. So what we ended up doing was going down another 6-8 inches or so, and to get us more material from the west end, which was nice and sandy and rocky, and we could then move that, not we, but Rodney and Matt moved that towards the east end of the property. Now the issue bringing in fill for the east end, once we scrape out the clay, is that fill needs to be compacted. If it's not properly compacted, then the structure will sag, creating all kinds of issues, so that can't happen. So anyways, we need to deal with compaction. I considered a number of options when it came to the compaction on how we would go about doing that. Each had varying costs and effectiveness. There's a lot to weigh out there. So we could have brought in fill, engineered fill, from an outside source, and that would be exactly the content that we required. The other option, which as I said we ended up going with, was just using the soil from the west end of the property, which in the geotechnical analysis, the engineer there said that that soil seemed to be suitable for that purpose. So that's what we went with. For the actual compaction, I opted to have Rodney use a sheep's foot, which is a vibratory roller with knobs, which concentrate the force of the machine on a small area. And you can see that in the little clip here. I also considered just having him do a track walk with his 52-ton excavator, but ultimately decided that the foundation was not a place I was going to cut any costs. I really enjoy watching experts make their jobs look easy, but the thing I liked best about working with Rodney was his candidness in presenting me with the trade-offs he saw when it came time for me to make decisions throughout this process, which there were many instances of. And here Matt's doing a final scrape and then Rodney's going to hop on the excavator and do some track walking, just to make a nice compacted surface at the top. Oh, and we played soccer.
Oh!